All right. Good Tuesday afternoon, everyone. Thanks for stopping by for a check of your forecast. It is a quiet day here in the panhandle of Texas. It is July 15th, year of our Lord 2025. Going to be a quiet afternoon for us today. As we move into Wednesday and Thursday, though, there is a subtle trough feature trying to work its way through the mountains, and that is going to eventually create a stalled cold front moving into the second half of the week, which may be a focal point for some thunderstorm development moving into that last couple days of this work week. And you can see we've got a handful of thunderstorms pulsing up out there in the hill country and the big country. They certainly don't need any more rain right now. At least most of those locations don't, but beggars can't be choosers. It is either feast or famine when it comes to rain here in the Lone Star State. Now we are in a perennial drought, just interrupted by intermittent flooding, it seems. And this year seems to be the intermittent flooding, at least down there on that side of the state. Let's go ahead and take a peek outside in Clovis, New Mexico. You can see really just a lot of sunshine out here. You can faintly see some of those thunderstorms trying to pulse up out there off the mountains of the Sangre de Cristos. I don't really expect any of that to get into the viewing area tonight. We can't rule out maybe a stray shower or thunderstorm around Quay and Union County. The rest of us are going to have a quiet night tonight, unimpacted by weather. Enjoy it. It's kind of nice out there. 89 currently, and winds are from the south around 10 to 20 miles an hour. So even though it is warm, that breeze is making it feel a bit better, at least more bearable to maintain some outdoor activities. As we head into Wednesday night, we do have a marginal risk. This is just going to be in the northern section of the Texas-Oklahoma Panhandle back into northeast New Mexico. Marginal by definition means that we'll probably have some isolated thunderstorms that could be severe in nature briefly. So we don't really expect this to be widespread of a severe weather threat, but we may have a few thunderstorms in that general direction, which could be strong enough to produce some 70-mile-per-hour winds and maybe some quarter-sized hail. So that'll be the next thing to watch for tomorrow. But Thursday does look like a better day for storm activity. We'll show you here on our computer model. So this is Wednesday at 6 p.m. You can see a lot of storms up here in eastern Colorado as we head into Wednesday night. That congeals into a big complex, providing some much needed moisture for some areas in the south central plains back up there in Colorado and Kansas. Now heading into Thursday, this is one feature that models have really been struggling the last 12 hours to pick up on, but we do expect that cold front to stall out somewhere across the Texas Panhandle. That is going to make or break some of our high temperatures Thursday afternoon. There's going to be a lot of cloud cover on the north side of that front. That will likely determine whether or not you are in the 80s for highs on Thursday or if you're going to be in the 90s. And it's all going to come down to which side of the boundary you end up on. So this is Thursday afternoon at 6 p.m. You can see that front does slowly retreat to the north some, basically stationary, doesn't move a whole lot, but may retreat north just a bit by 60 miles or so. And so we end up seeing highs in the 90s south of it, and then you'll see 70s and 80s north of it, wherever the boundary again doesn't retreat all the way back up to. So that is one thing to keep an eye on. Some of us may feel much cooler than normal on Thursday. The rest of us will be very seasonal with highs in the 90s. But look what happens as we head into Thursday night. Just get this big complex to form out there near that source of lift. Whether or not that impacts the Amarillo area is really going to come down to where the front stalls out. You guys have lived here as long as I do, or at least most of you guys have. Fronts usually get further south than models suggest. So this stuff that's currently draped across the Oklahoma Panhandle and parts of southeast Colorado, we're still 2 days away. This stuff could get displaced further south. This may end up being stuff for Clovis and Tucumcari, all the way back up towards Borger and Pampa, instead of places like Clayton and Boise City. So that's one thing that we're watching that could change in the forecast. But we do expect scattered thunderstorms on Thursday evening, at least across a portion of the area. Right now, if we had to pick, I would say the western half of the panhandles and parts of New Mexico will be the ones best favored for those storm chances on Thursday. After that, it goes dry, and the reason for that is this ridge of high pressure that builds in across the Gulf of Mexico and eventually will probably build in over Texas heading into next week. It's not going to be the biggest ridge we've ever seen, but it is going to ramp up those temperatures. This is the ensemble's probabilities for us to get to 90, 100, and 110 degrees Monday afternoon here in Amarillo. You can see all of them have a very good consensus. We're going to hit 90 degrees for a high, at least on Monday. And then you can see there's about a 50-50 split on if we can get to 100 degrees or not. Monday afternoon. The Euro gives us about a 40% probability. The GFS gives us a 50% probability. And the Canadian outlook shows a 60% chance that we'll get to 100 degrees Monday afternoon, which again has kind of been a bigger story for us this summer. We have not seen triple digits so far this year. The hottest day we've had is 96 degrees. It's occurred twice in July, but we haven't been any warmer than that, which is kind of a dime a dozen for a summer that we would have typically here in Amarillo. Our normal first triple digit day usually is late June. We're pushing close to a month past that. We can certainly see triple digits in August. That's usually one of the hotter months for us. Late July, early August is usually that hottest stretch of weather we have here in the Texas Panhandle. And then by the time we get to September, if we get a different weather pattern and we start getting some better fronts pushing through, we can cool off pretty quick in September. The last few years, it's been delayed more into October. Last year, for example, we actually set a new record for latest triple-digit day here in Amarillo. The latest we had seen a triple-digit day was September 7th up until last year. We hit 100 degrees on the 14th of September. So it can, in theory, happen until that late in the year. So we still have a month or 2 months to go. Definitely looks like we might be ending that zero streak, though, as we move into next week. The outlook from the Climate Prediction Center does show a 60 and 70% chance for us to be warmer than normal. Normal high being 93, so we're at least talking probably upper 90s next week. Probably a couple of us will get into the lower 100s. That's when you start seeing some heat stress related illnesses. So just make sure you stay hydrated, especially this weekend if you're going to be out and about. Next week, if you work outside, make sure you have plenty of water. You're staying hydrated. You may need to take more frequent breaks than you're used to. So that'll be the next thing to talk about after our chance for rain on Thursday. I noticed, again, you notice that we have at least a 10 pop each afternoon. We can't rule out a thunderstorm, but overall it should feature a lot of sunshine here over the next 7 days, and temperatures will be warmer than average for the most part. Thursday, the question is which side of the boundary we're on. We're going to go with 91 for your highs so far on Thursday, but just want to point out the North American's high resolution model, at least the latest output, shows that front stalling out near Canyon and keeping Amarillo at 81 for a high. So that kind of has some boomer bust potential with it, just depending on where that stalled front inevitably ends up on Thursday afternoon. That's all we've got for you this afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day. We will continue to keep you weather aware here at Storm Surge 7. Should we see severe storms tomorrow and Thursday, we may have more than just that traditional afternoon update.